In 15 days, America goes to the polls. Your voice will be heard. For 2 years, you've been listening to everybody else debate politics. This is where you get into it. President Trump has a warning to anyone planning on voting in the midterms, tweeting, "All levels of government and law enforcement are watching carefully for voter fraud, including during early voting. Cheat at your own peril. Violators will be subject to maximum penalties, both civil and criminal." For fact's sake, honestly, multiple studies prove voter fraud is not anywhere close to a widespread problem in America. A landmark 2007 study by the Brennan Center for Justice found the rate of voter fraud is extremely rare. 3 10,000ths and 25 10,000ths of a percent. That's the range. The report claimed most reports of voter fraud can be traced back to things like clerical errors, bad data matching, and voter mistakes. The author of that report even said, quote, "It is more likely that an individual will be struck by lightning than he will impersonate another voter at the polls." The same author published another report in 2014 finding 31 possible incidents of fraud between the years 2000 and 2014, when more than 1 billion ballots were cast during that period. The author adds some of those incidents were likely to be debunked after an investigation. After the 2016 election, President Trump claimed Hillary Clinton won as many votes as she did because of fraudulent ballots. But when the Washington Post analyzed reports of absentee or in-person voting fraud in that election, it found a total of 4 credible cases of voter fraud. Just a reminder, 135 Americans voted in the 2016 election. And look, you may think I'm quoting selective sources. We're open to all the other ones that show more than this, but these are the kinds of numbers we're talking about. 135 million people. I'm sorry, is that the number? 135 million people voted in that election, and that's what we've got. All right, let's forget about voter fraud for a moment and talk about voter suppression. The state of Georgia, again, being accused of trying to stop minorities from voting, this time by using handwriting analysis, if you want to call it that. The ACLU is suing Georgia, claiming that it rejected almost 600 absentee ballots because the signature on the ballot doesn't match the one on the voter's file. Activists say minority voters are being disproportionately affected. Hey, MSNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there and click on any of the videos here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up now.